Hola a todos, ¿cómo están? Espero que muy bien, sean bienvenidos a The Witcher 3. Vamos a continuarle justo donde lo dejamos. Ahora tenemos una cita con una fiesta muy bonita. Así que vamos a vestirnos tal y como nos pidieron. Vamos a aprovechar que tenemos la ropa de Olgierd Boneverek. Vamos a ver qué tal nos queda. Botas ornamentadas. Y vamos a ocupar... pantalones. No tengo los pantalones, ¿verdad? De Olgierd. Bueno, los guantes, eso sí sé que no los necesitamos. ¿Sus pantalones? No. Creo que sí los necesitamos. Es que solamente tengo los de Tesha Mutna. Y todos estos que son... Pero es que estos son oficial de la Guardia Ducal de Utuzán. No, estos no son de gala, por así decir. Ah, mira, ya funcionan. Bien, perfecto. Vayamos directo a... What the fuck? ¿Qué pasó aquí?
Didn't look like locals. Damien's right. I'm a hunted man.
Han puesto precio en mi cabeza. ¡Ah! Venían por mí. Contrato de un brujo. Sí, cierto. Mira. Venían a por mí, es verdad. Le han puesto precio a mi cabeza. Fíjate, qué raro. Bien. Vamos a ver si podemos... Aún no sé exactamente dónde es donde está... Porque hay un armero al cual no hemos visitado. Y a él le puedo vender todas las armas y armaduras que ya tengo encima. Tengo bastantes que no sé ni por qué las sigo teniendo. Pero bueno, vamos a dejarlo para después. Total, mientras pueda seguir corriendo, no hay problema. A ver, estamos aquí al lado. Es por aquí, ¿verdad? Sí. Supuestamente vamos a una zona... no sé, lujosa, ¿no?
Late. Why does that not surprise me?
Se ve muy bien Geralt con la ropa de Olgierd.
Well. A witcher in a robe. I last saw attire like this years ago in Redania.
Inappropriate for this evening? Not a good fit?
It's a wonderful fit, but you're sure to stand out. No one wears such things around here. Not all bad. Nothing like a budding artist, of course, but... just one other detail. Here, put it on.
A mask?
All who attend the Mandragora soiree wear them. If you have one on, no one asks who you are.
Any idea why they wear masks?
Likely because they imagine it oh so very romantic and mysterious. The truth is far simpler. This way, no one can tell which drunken aristocrats are pinching the performers.
Bueno, vamos adentro.
Let's go. Soiree started.
Es bastante curioso.
Wise of you to hide your weapons. They'd not have let us in otherwise.
El diálogo de la reina al verme vestido con la túnica de Olgierd. Dijo de volada, vas a destacar, nadie viste así, parecen ropas de Redania. Y es que precisamente Olgierd Boneverek viene de Redania, no es de aquí.
Have you a plan?
Key is not to spook him. Need to ask after his partner, Cecilia, first. Less likely to raise suspicions. As soon as we find her, we find him. Especially since he might be expecting us.
What do you mean?
Ran into some of his thugs in town. Knew who I was. Had it in for me.
Right. Right you are. We must proceed with caution. Come, it's our turn.
Si hubiéramos ido con ropas de gala de Bucler, no nos hubiera hecho ese comentario, o sea, es curioso.
Tonight, I particularly recommend you direct your attention to the performances prepared by artists of our community.
Tell us about these performances.
This evening, the Mandragora has the honor to present 3 superb displays of artistry. The first was a concert by Cecilia Belont, a singer whose voice, were it stone, would surely be a diamond. Sadly, Mademoiselle Cecilia has sung.
Shame. We would have loved to hear her.
Luckily, you are in time to see the great Calesti, a master of visual illusions, come to us from far off Afir.
Visual illusions. Interesting. And the third artist?
The third and fourth, for they are a duo, are the Tuven brothers, presenting their newest pantomime.
Tomima. Esos, o sea, son
We were
mimos.
really hoping to meet Cecilia Bellant.
You are admirers, I surmise. I'm certain you will have ample opportunity to converse with her.
It cannot be easy to identify anyone in this crowd. Perhaps you could help us find her.
I don't know where she is now, but I can give you a clue.
Let's hear it.
Seek the Kaveri orchid.
Meaning?
Cecilia wears one in her hair. You shall recognize her easily by the orchid.
Orquídea, bueno, muy bien.
Well, well. Dandelion's always complaining about artists being poor as temple mice.
The residence belongs to none of them. They are guests here. Oriana, she owns this. Woman in the black dress. There, on the balcony.
Got her. Doesn't wear a mask?
It would be pointless. All would know her anyway.
Koviri Orchid. Let's look for it. If we find Cecilia, we'll find the Centrian.
Oh, Geralt. Qué perfecto te ves así. Bien, vayamos. ¿Se acuerdan de la boda?
Do you fear taking a bath?
¿Ah? De la boda de la expansión pasada, que podíamos interactuar con bastantes cosas. Bueno, aquí lo mismo.
Come on, Geralt, be bold. Show us the artist in you. The paintballs, cast them at the canvas.
And be good folk, yet another soul longing to express its creative side.
A ver, ¿qué tengo que hacer? Se supone. Bola de pintura. Bien.
Yellow. Why ever yellow?
It's obvious. It represents transgression in its purest form.
Bola de pintura amarilla. ¿Y qué más tengo? Azul. Ok.
I got it. It's the Sorator.
It's not a landscape, you pleb. It's a manifestation of the man's soul.
Blue blood is all I see. Should you tire of these hues?
Sure to be in one of the
drop them in
alcoves.
Grab a different array. Quite the noble color. Splendid. The sky over Toussaint before the storm.
Or a deeply internalized fear of intimacy.
Ahora esto es verde, ¿vean? El verde acá en el suelo.
Lush and verdant as a field of vines. To vines and
A ver qué dicen de mí. Luego de acabar tremenda obra de arte. Tenemos una más de pintura amarilla ahí arriba. Quiero que sea el sol. Por último, pintura roja acá de este lado.
scarlet crimson oxblood. Iced lips, full sensually parted lips. Voila! Fine. Now, allow me a moment to ponder.
Bueno, un momento para reflexionar.
The painting depicts spiritual dualism, the continual battle between good and evil, and defiance.
Oh yes, that's him all right. Good versus evil.
La dualidad del hombre.
Dualistic nature of man.
And defiance.
A ver, ¿qué tenemos por aquí? ¿Qué es esto? Ah,
Absinthe. The preferred hooch of artists.
Careful, it packs a pretty powerful punch.
a su
Built
madre.
up a pretty powerful resistance.
This is deathly dull. Let's go.
You're bored as you've made no effort to understand. It's a metaphor of the constant struggle
Greetings,
for power
Witcher.
and influence.
¿Qué es esto? ¿Qué están haciendo estos?
What else will they think of? If they
Ah,
can't
sí, es el este de los mimos. Participa en los entretenimientos de la velada. Hombre, no me lo tienes ni que decir. ¿Qué más tenemos?
Have you seen the skeleton? I beg your pardon.
Ah, bastante comida. Qué bien.
Greetings.
Como si no tuviera ya suficiente. Una milenrama topo. A ver, parece que aquí hay una actividad, ¿verdad? Los primeros pasos de Matilda. Hombre, ahí yo no veo nada. Este se llama El nacimiento de Ludovic. ¿Por qué ves eso ahí? ¿En qué momento ves ahí un nacimiento? La concepción de Edward. Vaya mierda de pintura, ¿eh? A ver, aquí parece como si pudiera interactuar. Ah, sí, mira, mira, mira. Bien. Bien, vamos a ver qué más encontramos por ahí.
Hates like the great one.
The Great One. But
¿Qué es esto?
do not disturb. Shoo, shoo.
It's the right flower.
Of course it is. A Koviri orchid lends just the right contrast to her complexion.
Need to talk to your model. It'll only take a minute.
To me?
Lie still. You may speak, but for love's sake, do not move.
Fíjate qué rápido lo encontramos.
Wow. Impressive portrait.
I know the style, the stroke. This is Dorian Velez.
The gracious lady has heard of me?
I've heard Anna Henrietta herself wished you to paint her portrait once.
At one point, the palace chamberlain even wrote to me, but alas, ultimately refused my terms.
What was the matter?
When he learned I only ever paint nudes, he severed all contact. He said he would not dare offend Her Illustrious Highness with such a proposition. I've always longed to paint her. Such a shame.
I think you may still get your chance.
Wow. Bien, está bien.
We came here to meet you, specifically.
To meet me? But why?
Centrian noble you came here with. Wanted to ask you about him.
Centrian noble. Ah! You must think I'm Cecilia.
Orchid confused me.
I told you not to move!
As she concluded her performance, Cecilia tossed the flower into the crowd. I caught it, but I did see the nobleman.
Really like to talk to him. What did he look like?
Like many here. Tall, dark, masked.
Know where he might be now?
He gave Cecilia a small gift, a heart-shaped box. Then they strolled off together towards the refreshment tables.
Excuse me, madame, monsieur, I cannot work like this. You must leave now.
Hombre, bueno, está bien. Participar en los entretenimientos. Bien, sigamos participando a ver qué más podemos ver.
Damsels demand.
Lanterns. They say releasing them brings good luck.
A ver.
Look at the mage. I believe he's casting spells.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh, el mago, el gran Calesti. Míralo. Me recuerda, parece que viene de Covir, ¿verdad? Wow, me recuerda bastante al hechicero Kobir con el que peleamos al principio de la expansión de Hearts of Stone. Sí, es muy hermoso esto, no manches.
That is no ordinary illusion. The man is a true artist.
Impressive.
Bien, bravo, ¿eh? Realmente que sí me impresionaste. Ay, por aquí no puedo pasar. Quiero ir allá al final. Creo que allá también hay cosas por hacer. Aquí.
Fine. Let's give it a try.
Never suspected you believed in such things.
Te sorprenderías. Esto parece la entrada a algún lado. Está abierto. Ok, lo siento. Vámonos. Salte de aquí. No quiero perturbar la fiesta. No quiero que se me lancen los guardias. Bueno, de momento no tenemos razón para entrar ahí. Ya habrá, no se preocupen. Un laúd.
Someone left their loot behind. Looks a little like dandelions.
This was scratched. Someone beat him with it once.
Ay, hombre, quisiera saber qué hubo entre la reina y este Jaskier.
Empty heart-shaped box. Cecilia must have left it behind.
It looks like it held a flask of perfume. A gift from the Cintrian, I imagine.
Scent still hangs in the air. Let's follow it. Bit of Fistech. Artist's way of numbing their existential pain.
No,
I do
man.
not even wish to comment.
Bien, tenemos que seguir ahora el aroma, al parecer. Oh, carta de amor.
Love letter penned on a napkin. Look.
Laura, oh amor mío, oh único rayo de luz en el firmamento de mi vida, te hablaré desde el corazón. Llevo semanas lanzándote miradas furtivas, escondiendo la esperanza que alimento en lo más profundo de mi ser, de que tal vez puedas sentir por mí, aunque solo sea un ápice del afecto que siento yo por ti. He esperado durante mucho tiempo mientras reunía el valor necesario para confesar lo que siento por ti. No hay duda de que seguiría esperando si no hubieras aparecido en la velada de esta noche en compañía de ese cerdo mujeriego, juerguista y pretencioso escritor de estupideces llamado Alphonse de Reside. En el instante que he visto a ese raquítico mojón adulándote, he sabido que tenía que actuar. He tomado las mejores armas de mi arsenal, la pluma y la prosa elegante, y he comenzado a escribirte esta carta. Disculpa que esté escrita en una servilleta, pues no disponía de nada más apropiado en este momento. Oh mujer maravillosa, donde las haya, no creas una sola palabra de las que te susurra al oído. Es tan traicionero como una víbora y el doble de venenoso. Rechaza sus intentos y camina junto a mí de la mano. Deja que te ponga uvas en la boca y que irradiemos eterna felicidad. Tuyo por siempre, Fabien.
Oh, my amour, my sunbeam flittering across the firmament of my life. Tricky refuse.
Se acordó de Jaskier de seguro. Bien, sigamos el olor. ¿Esto qué es? Ah, es una puerta. Bien. ¿Qué les dije? Ya les dije que sí habría razón para ir para acá.
He'll definitely come. Don't worry.
How can you be so sure?
Ay, pero aquí un guardaespaldas.
Sorry, only artists in the Mandragora allowed.
Come, we must consider what to do.
I'd recognize that voice anywhere.
You must be mistaking me for someone else.
I served 15 years in the palace. Your Grace, I'd not mistake you for anyone.
Shh! Not so loud. We are here incognito, on state business.
Yes, Your Grace. How may I serve?
Bueno, para empezar, no le digas a nadie, por
I
favor.
hope we can count on your discretion.
Of course. I shall be silent as the grave.
Bueno, ¿has visto a Cecilia?
Looking for Cecilia Bellant. Seen her?
She's in her dressing room, where she went with a nobleman. They clearly were drawn to each other.
What did the man look like?
Tall, broad-shouldered, a black beard peeping out from under his mask, and he spoke with a foreign accent, a drawl of sorts.
Arrastraba las palabras.
That must be him. We must get to the dressing room, quickly.
Yes, Your Grace. I'll take you.
No, stay here. Anyone tries to flee, you stop them.
Understood.
Bien, no, hombre, pues qué bueno que el guardaespaldas
Quickly,
fuera
upstairs.
alguien conocido. Bien, dame chance. Ok. Bien, pues es por esta puerta, pero a ver. Ah, está cerrado. Y cerrado. No, pues es la única entonces. No mames.
That must be Cecilia.
No pulse. We're too late.
He slit her throat. The brute.
Didn't go out the door. Guard would have noticed. Might still be somewhere here.
You must find him before he harms another. I shall alert Oriana at once. She should bring her soirée to a close.
Shouldn't split up.
Geralt, I will be fine. Go after that rogue. I shall fetch help.
Ay, nunca nada sale bien. A ver, ¿qué tenemos aquí para investigar? Claro, y aprovechemos para robar también.
Killed her, then went out on the balcony. Bloody handprint. It's his.
No pudo haber
Tore
saltado
down the
por aquí.
door,
Ah,
made
por
a
aquí.
platform. Clever. Must be pretty strong, too.
Esta está cerrada.
Must have climbed this ladder.
Ok. Uf, estamos muy altos. Siempre es bueno detenerse un momento a admirar las increíbles vistas que Toussaint tiene para nosotros. In Toussaint.
Could still be here. Need to stay alert.
Ok. What? No, que era esto.
Smashed mirror. Someone crashed into it hard, then sank to the floor.
Esto es
Bloodstains.
sangre.
Links of a snapped chain. Jewel must have been on it.
Joya de gran valor.
Precious stone. Bloody fingerprint on it. Thief came for this. Must have. Tiny chain links next to it. From a snapped necklace? Seems there was a struggle. Jewelry box. Locks busted. Picked open, probably.
Imagino que ahí estaba el collar. Pero rompió el collar. O sea, no quería el collar, quería el dije. Poesías completadas de Gonzalo de Bercero.
Looks valuable, but it's not what he came for. Sconce is bent, smeared with blood. Someone try to grab it? Sconce is bent, smeared with blood.
No.
Someone try to grab it? Blood on the window frame. Someone climb out? Fall out?
Hombre, pues si alguien se cayó desde aquí, murió, 100%.
Empty inkwell. Knocked over, turned toward the room.
Ya también tenemos aquí algo.
Canvas is cut. Somebody took a knife to the painting, looks like.
Y por último tenemos esto. Cuchillo de caza ornamentado.
Richly ornamented. Used during the fight, probably. Jewel was in the box, it seems. Centurion tried to steal it, but someone got in his way. They fought, struggled, that's clear. Ended with one of them flying out the window. Fall had to have killed them. Jewel's still here, though, so our Centurion must have been the flyer.
So, this is the tracker. A witcher, yes?
Indeed, this is him. We found the body together. Then he set off in pursuit of the killer.
And ended up here, but I've only found evidence of a fight. Seems the Centurions killed his last. Finally failed this time. Shame it happened too late for Cecilia.
Poor girl. Always told her she chose her males badly. But I would never have suspected she could arrive with a murderer. I'll alert the staff. Have them see to her body at once. Meanwhile, we should sit. I will tell you everything, in full detail. I caught him red-handed, attempting to burgle, rifling through my possessions.
What did you do? Summon the guards?
There was no time. I feared he'd escape, refused to give him the chance. He stood with his back to me, so I attacked. He struck his head on a picture frame as we struggled. He was bleeding, dazed, and then he drew a knife. Everything happened very quickly then. I knocked the weapon out of his hand and pushed him hard. He
fell out of the window.
Just so.
None too wise picking a fight with an armed robber.
Why? Because I'm a woman, in a frock rather than plate. I can take care of myself, I assure you. A hairpin might look like mere ornament, but plunged into an eye, it can be as effective as a blade.
No, no lo digo por eso. Es que algo no me cuadra de la historia que me cuentas, la verdad.
Claim the man was trying to rob you when you walked into the room?
Yes. He stood over my dressing table, pouring through my jewelry.
Mm-hmm. After this is my guess. Picked it up while searching.
Why, that's the heart of Toussaint. Oriana, how did you ever come to have it?
I bought it, many years ago, from a young woman.
¿Una joven?
Jewel seems important. Why?
The heart is an heirloom. It belonged to my family for years. Then it disappeared. I didn't think we would ever recover it.
Seems someone is very determined to find it. The thief left his tool bag behind. Found this drawing inside it. Look.
Sí, o sea, sí iba tras eso.
The heart of Toussaint. Representation's pretty faithful. Centurion must have been on a job. Got very clear instructions what to look for.
So it is not him we seek, but his employer. Is this the only evidence we found?
Also happened on the weapon he attacked Oriana with. Hunting knife. Used to skin game. Got an emblem on its hilt.
This crest is used by the lords of Duntine. The present master of the castle is a passionate hunter. Our next lead, perhaps.
Duntine?
Duntine. Remember the place. Abandoned ruin just a few years ago.
More recently, the family's last heir, Roderick, returned to his ancestral seat and restored the castle.
Ah,
Know
fíjate
any
qué
more about
curioso.
this Roderick?
His grandfather was an advisor to Queen Ademarta. The family received those lands as a grant for his service. Roderick is quite the recluse. He avoids society, preferring the company of a small team of knights, though the latter term is imprecise, as they seem more akin to vandals with crests on their shields.
Pues sí, tengo que investigarlo.
Oriana, everything we discussed here, hope you'll keep it to yourself. Counting on it, in fact. Word gets out, he failed in his attempt to steal the jewel, his employer could run. We need to proceed cautiously.
Discretion is in the interest of us all. I'll not ask what this is about, just as I expect not to be troubled about it again. By anyone.
Forgive me, Madam Oriana, but might I have a word?
You must excuse me a moment.
Hombre, esto no nos está llevando a ningún lado. Soy el único que piensa eso. De una pista nos lleva a otra y nos lleva a otra. Y así sucesivamente. No nos estamos acercando a nada.
Oriana, any thoughts?
Few make me feel awkward. But in her presence, I sense anxiety, discomfort.
Sí, yo también.
The drawing. It's on the same type of paper the victims' names were written on. Drawn with the same ink, too. Seems the work of our blackmailers.
Who were not only behind the beast's murders, but also stole the Son Real and sought to steal the heart of Toussaint.
Look, the wine, the jewel, both tied to you intrinsically. Coincidence? Not something I'm willing to believe. Worried about one thing. That somewhere at the end of this scheme, plan might call for an attempt on your life.
It could be something else altogether.
Sí, o sea, primero a los caballeros, ¿no? Para debilitarlos o algo así.
My sister.
Y puede que el último asesinato fuera a la reina.
She left court when we were children. My parents banished her from the duchy. I've not seen her since.
Think your sister might be involved? Why?
You see, I recall her always being rather possessive, throwing jealous fits if I had something she didn't.
Here, that's normal for sisters. Rivalry.
True. I suppose I gave as good as I got. There are times I miss that very much. The wine, its theft, was the first clue. That's very much like her. She always did enjoy stealing my toys. But I grew almost certain when I saw the heart of Toussaint. Siana received it from father as a gift. At a time when my parents thought of her as but an ill-behaved little girl. Someone wanted some of my wine. The same someone ordered our family jewels stolen. Or recovered. It's my sister. It must be.
A fallen princess satisfying whims, going after lost luxuries? Could be right.
No solo eso, a lo mejor se quiere vengar, ¿verdad? Todo está
What did your
encajando.
sister do to get banished?
Siana was cursed.
Parents run afoul of some mage?
No. She was born at an inopportune moment. They said she was touched by the curse of the Black Sun. Geralt, is it true? Can an individual be evil because they were born during the wrong lunar phase?
Could be the case. Could also be because they were treated like lepers from birth. Isolated, prodded, ostracized. Couldn't have had it easy, Siana.
She was angry at the whole world. She felt inferior, felt pain, though she masked this with confidence, arrogance even. She could also be cruel at times. I recall one such situation. She persuaded Cedric the Coolbird that she could see the future in her dreams. We were children, and Cedric's brother was smitten with me. It was an innocent childhood crush. Siana knew of it. She told Cedric of a dream she had had, that he would die at the hands of his own brother. Cedric stole his father's sword and killed his brother. She destroyed 2 lives with a prank. Cedric mourns to this day. In the end, they forced her to leave the palace. A decade passed. More. I've missed her terribly since. Your mission has gained new import. You must go to Dun Tyne, and if Siana is there, you must find her. No matter what she did, she is not to be harmed in any way, shape, or form. You must make sure of that.
Hombre, yo le diría no prometo nada, pero...
I'll find her if she's there.
I hope you do. I very much wish to talk to her. Sister to sister.
Your Grace, Geralt, I'd like to introduce...
Regis! What a surprise! I had no idea you were in Beauclair. And this is...
My very dear friend, Detlef van der Eretain, an arrival from Nazaire.
Detlef, ¿qué
We are
hace
lending our
aquí?
combined resources to the Witcher's hunt.
Ah, yes. Splendid. But why are you here at Oriana?
¿Cómo te atreves,
He
Reyes, a
came to
traerlo
pay me a
aquí? ¿Qué te
surprise
pasa?
visit, so I invited Regis in for a glass of wine. We've known each other for... ages. Literally.
Oriana me da mala espina. Siento que ella también
Witcher,
es vampira,
I hear you know Regis too. Even that you are friends.
¿Te sorprende?
Seems surprised. Why?
I never would have suspected Regis to find common ground with a Witcher.
Don't be fooled, dear. Geralt has many merits. He merely hides them from the world very diligently.
You said you're both aiding him with his contract. It involves the Beast of Beauclair, I suspect. Master Witcher, maybe you could satisfy my curiosity. What's it like going toe-to-toe with a monster, knowing you've only two options, to kill or be killed?
Hombre, está...
Despite what you might have heard, I don't lunge at every monster I see sword in hand. Talking gets the job done for some.
Bien, bien bajado ese balón,
I
Geralt.
wonder what a
Esa
monster might
pregunta
have to say
tiene
to you.
mucho
You
contraste.
might want to apologize.
My word. For what might a monster wish to apologize to a Witcher?
For killing. Though at times there is no choice, when loved ones are at risk and require protection.
Same as humans. Put them in that situation, they'll kill too.
You understand this. It must be why you and Regis are friends. If I understand you correctly, you would rather help a monster than kill it.
If possible, yeah. Or at least try.
Enough about the Witcher trait for now. Regis mentioned you come from Nazaire. I spent time there as a child.
Fond memories?
It was wonderful. I was positively entranced by the land's fashions. Deep-cut dresses I found most fascinating.
I believe we're running short on wine. I should go to the cellar, bring another bottle.
Let me go. Wanna help, Regis? Know your wine a lot better than I know mine.
We shall return forthwith.
Sí, Reyes, acompáñame, que tengo algo que preguntarte. ¿Cómo te atreves? Sigo con esa duda. ¿Por qué lo trajiste
An
aquí?
exceptional conversation, don't you think? Vampires, a Witcher,
And the Duchess of Toussaint?
Mira, ves,
My,
vampiros. Para mí que
Highly
Oriana también es
exceptional,
vampira.
Regis. Wanted to talk to you in private. You crazy bringing Detlef here?
Geralt, allow me to explain.
No, let me explain. He's dangerous, and you were gonna watch him.
But that is precisely what I'm doing. Detlef believes you'll succeed in your task, and he'll not need to kill anymore.
That is, not until he gets his hands on the men who kidnapped his Renna.
Oriana, es una vampira, ¿verdad?
Oriana. She really your friend? Can she be trusted?
I met her years ago, before I met you, and before she settled in Beauclair. We'd not seen one another in... I can't begin to tell you in how long.
But I shall tell you all about her some other day.
Guessing it's no accident you two stopped by.
It would be quite some coincidence indeed. No, a dutiful little bird told us.
Estoy tus pajaritos, Regis.
Now listen close. Managed to learn where the blackmailers are. They're based at Duntine Castle.
That's splendid news. If they are there, Renna must be there as well.
Duchess expects we'll find her long-lost sister there too. Thing is, she might be involved. Could be behind the blackmailing.
Do you mean to say your task now is to extract two women from the castle?
Podría
Mean to
ser la
say we
misma.
can't breathe a word of this to Detlef, who wants revenge above all else.
Geralt, you must trust me. I've got a way with...
No, Regis. Can't risk it. Gotta keep Detlef here while I go to Duntine.
Alone?
Alone. That way I can make sure neither woman will come to any harm.
I hope you know what you're doing. Fine. I shall see to Detlef. Good luck, my friend.
Splendidly, Detlef. Ah, I'm grateful you brought back those memories. You're back. It took you long enough.
Contrary to what common folk believe, choosing a wine is not nearly as easy as it might seem. Especially a wine to be served to two exquisite ladies.
Regis, gallant as ever. I regret all the more that I shan't finish the second bottle with you. Duty calls.
Your Grace, always a pleasure.
I thank you for your help. It's been invaluable. Geralt, will you see me out? You have exceptional friends. This Detlef, an intriguing man to say the least.
Si supieras. No sabes cuánto.
Don't know him too well. He say much about himself?
Not much, but I've a good sense of the true nature of those I meet. I'd not survive a week at court otherwise.
So what's his?
Sensitive, sad. He carries within him the weight of a terrible tragedy. He is a good man, but lost, which is why he comes across as grim.
Didn't expect the evening to end like this.
Neither did I. But I have not drawn you out for a romantic stroll. I wish to make certain you know what you are to do.
Mm-hmm. Gotta go to Duntine.
I've decided my guardsmen will support you. You will meet them at Count Delacroix' mill. It stands along the Saône-Retour River, near the Cockatrice Inn. Captain de la Tour and his men will await you there at midnight. You shall storm the castle together.
Bien. Bien, estoy de acuerdo. Siana. Reúnete con Damien en el molino de la Grow, bla, bla, bla. Mira nada más que tenemos aquí.
Prepare to witness wonders at the annual chivalric tourney. Surfing as patron this year, Lady Vivienne de Tabry. Valiant knights from all corners of the world will vie for the title of tourney.
Ok, déjame, me equipo mi armadura. Ahí está, listo. Vamos a vender un par de cositas de una vez antes de acabar el episodio. Lo vamos a dejar por aquí.
Greetings.
A witcher from the School of the Wolf, here in Tucson. Greetings. I'm Lazar Lafargue.
¿Cómo
Geralt
sabes?
of Rivia. Seem pretty enthused. Got a job for me?
Rather. Mind you, it's no monster hunt, but I'm sure you'll be interested all the same. I'm an armorer, see, and I've for years sought diagrams for witcher armor of exceptional quality, Grandmaster level.
Heard of them. Never seen any, though. Thought they were lost.
Not quite. For I've been lucky enough to learn that their holders came to Tucson. Alas, they then perished, but I know where. I just need a partner to help me retrieve them.
If you know where to look, why not get them yourself?
No offense, but do I look like a rough-hewn adventurer? Besides, who would serve my clients while I romped about seeking them?
Hombre, sí.
No, I'd rather leave it to someone familiar with such matters. Bring me the diagrams, and from them I'll forge for you whatever you fancy.
Bueno, vamos a venderle un par de
What do you
cosas.
have on offer?
Esto es la misión de las armaduras de Gran Maestro. Yo creo que se las voy a pedir de una vez ya para tenerla activada las misiones. Vamos a ver qué tanto le puedo vender. Mira, este definitivamente se va. Vaya, esta de Toussaint. ¿Esta a qué horas la tengo? Más de 12. Vamos a vender esto. ¿Esto qué es? Espada acero de Tesha Mudna. Esta me la quedo. Las de Tesha Mudna me las quedo porque son coleccionables. Todo lo de Tesha Mudna. Esto se va. Guantelete de caballero de Toussaint se va. Y esto se va. Ahí está, perfecto. Y mira, tintes también. Ah, sí, cierto, es que ahora ya podemos hasta pintar las armaduras. A ver si le puedo vender más cosas. Creo que no. ¿Esto qué es? Trofeo de Goliat. Ah, esto me lo quedo, sin duda alguna. Vamos a venderle esto también. Bien. Nivel de pánico 60. 60, 60, 60, 60, 60, todo 60. Y esto, silla de montar, 90 de vigor. Silla de montar de Toussaint, 90, 90, 90, 90, 90. Y 110 de alforjas. A ver.
Farewell.
Good luck on the path.
Ahora vamos a checarlo de una vez. Mira, aquí está. De alforjas, 100. Se la voy a quitar. De silla tengo 85. Y de antojeras 60 de Serricania. Silla campera de Ophir. Esta me la acuerdo que me la dio. Sí, esta se me hace que no la voy a vender. Alforjas de Serricania, a ver. A ver si las puedo comprar porque... Ah, mira, sí tengo 6000, tengo bastante, perfecto. ¿A dónde las dejé? ¿Dónde estaban? Aquí. A ver. Ordenar, vender, tamaño de las descripciones. No, eso no. No me acuerdo cómo las... Ah, pues aquí. Bien, quedamos con que tenía silla campera de Ophir 85. Y estas 90. Bueno, me voy a comprar todo de lo mismo. Por ejemplo, mira, si compro antojeras de Toussaint, que tienen 60 de pánico. Me voy a comprar la silla de Toussaint, silla a montar de... Aquí está, la silla de Toussaint. Y alforjas... Silla de montar de las 5 virtudes caballerescas. No, mejor esta. Te vendo esto, te vendo esto. Te vendo esto. Y te vendo esto. Estas alforjas de Bucler. Estas sí me las llevo. Y esta silla de montar de las 5 virtudes caballerescas. Ahí está, perfecto.
All these diagrams somehow wound up in Toussaint? How is that even possible?
Toussaint was once home to Tiensail, a legendary and now deceased elfin master armorer. Witches from all corners of the world came to him to forge their plate, their mail.
Heard about him. Supposed to have been the best.
And thus he charged a king's ransom for his work. Witches would take difficult, dangerous work to earn the coin to pay him. Some, alas, met with misfortune, and the diagrams they carried were left to rot with their earthly remains.
Got it. Find them, find the diagrams. But how can I know where to look for their remains?
As it happens, I learned my trade at Jensail's side. So I heard the stories of the missing witches firsthand. What he told me, well, that is what discouraged me from seeking the diagrams out myself. We must strike a deal. I shall tell you all I know. In return, once you've found the diagrams, you will let me draft a copy.
Bien. Vamos a preguntarle cómo acabó siendo aprendiz de un elfo.
This elven master, how'd he end up taking a human for an apprentice?
My father forged armor. As a youngster, I helped him, then began forging my own pieces. Master Tiensail saw my work and offered to take me on as his apprentice. Only now, years on, do I realize the honor that was. Alas, my master perished in a massacre later, slain by racists. Though he taught me everything he knew, I did not manage to complete the guild's requirements for Grand Master while he lived. I know I have no equal in the trade. Yet, until I complete Witcher armor of Grandmaster quality, I shall never be certain I've become my teacher's equal.
Bien, ¿y dónde están los diagramas?
Where do I look for these diagrams?
I know of 5 likely fallen witches, each from a different school of the wolf, griffin, cat, bear, and manticore. Which should I start with?
La del lobo primero.
Tell me about my brother, the wolf.
His name was Atom. I remember him well. My master liked him, helped him find a safe, yet well-paid contract. A few years ago, an archaeological expedition arrived in Toussaint from Castel Gropian. They questioned my master about the elfin ruins at Termes. He warned them of the danger there and recommended they take Aton as an escort.
What kind of danger did he mean? Any idea?
Legend claims wraiths haunt the chambers beneath Termes. I cannot say if there is any truth to this, but both the scholars and the Witcher disappeared without a trace.
A ver, la del grifo.
The Griffin. What can you tell me about him?
He came some 200 years ago, but my master remembered him well. This Witcher was not stripped of emotions, you see, as his colleagues were. He had taken on a contract at Fort Usa and required better gear. He showed my master his diagrams, paid a deposit, and was never seen again. Apparently he rode off one night from the fort, never to return.
Any idea where he went?
No. It said he left in a rush, so he may have left something behind. Only ruins remain of Fort Usar, but you may wish to search them.
La del gato.
Let's talk about the cat.
A year ago, Bartolome Delaunay, the ducal armorer, asked me to confirm the authenticity of a Witcher diagram he had received by messenger. You see, at the time he was working on new armor for the ducal guard. A Witcher from the School of the Cat offered to sell him diagrams for a full set of gear. The diagrams would have been helpful indeed.
The diagram you saw, was it really a Witcher diagram?
Beyond any doubt. It's a shame Delaunay didn't let me draft a copy. He was quite shaken up, afraid the Witcher might simply kill him and take his coin. Possibly a well-founded fear. Soon after, Delaunay disappeared without a trace. I would have searched his former home for clues, but it has fallen into disrepair, and it is simply too dangerous there.
Eso es lo que la del oso está con ganas, la verdad.
About the bear, can you?
O lo que voy a hacer va a ser la del lobo, definitivamente la voy a hacer.
Took me on as his apprentice. I remember the bear-head medallion that hung from his neck. I remember a towering witcher who haggled like a fishwife.
Witchers never have too much coin.
True. This one clearly was not wealthy. But he pledged to bring us coin after he completed a contract at the Tufo vineyard, where a building had just collapsed. Time passed. The bear never showed, and my master sent me to the Tufo estate. As it turned out, the Witcher had indeed accepted a job. Yet that was all they heard of him, and that is all I know.
Y la de la mantícora, que es
School of the Manticore.
Una armadura
Probably
feísima.
know the least about it, though once, long ago, wore some armor forged there.
My master said the Manticores have their fortress in the Far East. A century passed, one of their number came to him, a witcher named Merton. He made a poor impression on my master. He stank like a dwarfen still, and quarreled fiercely all the time. Tien Sahil slammed the door in his face and told him to return when he sobered up. He would conduct no business with a drunk. The Witcher, however, failed to return. Folk say he got into a booze-fueled brawl with the ducal guard. He was arrested and sentenced. Bastoy prison, where he was held, well, it's been a ruin for years. Still, you may want to start your search there.
Bueno, pues ya sabemos al menos dónde buscar. Ya preguntándole eso al señor este, se nos activan las misiones. Mira, la del lobo es la que más me interesa. Esta se hizo de día ya. Vamos a ver las misiones. Mira, aquí tenemos búsquedas de tesoro, pues ya tenemos bastantes. De hecho, estas no las he ido a buscar también, que estas son en Skellige. Me falta irlas a buscar. Muy seguramente va a haber un día en el que me tome la molestia de hacer todas. Puede que grabe estas. O sea, antes de comenzarlas, a lo mejor hago estas dos que son en Skellige, las voy a ocupar. Y puede que en un episodio las hagamos todas. Porque nada más es de irlas a buscar. Las ruinas de la prisión Bastoy. Aunque bueno, no sé. A lo mejor la del lobo. Porque esa sí es la que me interesa. Quiero esta para luego venírmela a fabricar. Y de contratos tengo nomás esto. Casa mayor. Y misiones secundarias. Ay, güey, tenemos un chingo. Tenemos bastantes misiones secundarias. Hombre, es que nos queda bastante por hacer aún. O sea, yo creo que sí nos quedan bastantes episodios, la verdad. Va a ser mucho más largo esto que la de Hearts of Stone. Muy seguramente en el siguiente episodio, aún tengo que decidirlo bien, pero a lo mejor en el siguiente episodio, en vez de seguir con la historia principal, yo creo que vamos a empezar a hacer misiones secundarias. Porque hay unas muy interesantes y muy divertidas también. Así que bueno, no sé, tengo que pensármelo. Por el momento vamos a dejarlo ya por aquí. Así que espero que hayan disfrutado de este episodio y nos vemos en el siguiente. Un saludo. Chau, chau.